My wife was screaming. Like the poop just went everywhere. Like everywhere. It was embarrassing. Like it was a full-on explosion. Anyway, I'm very grateful. Hey amigos, how are ya? Hope you're all having a really good day. I'll get a bit closer and lean on the table. This is a bit of a story for you. That didn't end very well, I can say that much. Didn't end well at all. It was pretty gross and pretty smelly. Yeah, but I'll share that story with you now. So we were on holiday in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen, just down from Cancun, and we had a flight out of Cancun about 5 o'clock that night. And so I left my bowel routine. I go every 24 hours. I left my bowel routine till about 10 o'clock in the morning, left it as long as possible. Went to the toilet, went and had some lunch, went to the airport, jumped on the plane. The plane ride was 5 hours or 4 hours to L.A. Got to L.A., with not much time to spare. It was like run through the airport, or wheel really quick through the airport to get to the plane that was leaving from L.A. to Sydney, Australia, which is like a 16-hour flight. So we get to the plane's delayed an hour, and we're like, oh, that's no problem at all. After an hour, they start boarding everyone. So obviously I'm on first. Yeah, people with disability, usually I'm first on, last off. So they loaded us on the plane, and by this time it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then we, left the airport, started going down, just going slowly towards the runway, and then the plane just stopped. Yeah, on the runway, and sat there for the next 5 or 6 hours. So we're stuck on the plane at LAX for already 5 or 6 hours. And then they take off. So they take off and everyone's like, yeah, we're flying. So we're flying to Sydney, Australia, which is about 15 and a half, 16 hours. And then as we're getting closer to Sydney, the pilot's like, we're going to divert to Brisbane. We need to divert to Brisbane. So they diverted to Brisbane. We're still stuck on the plane. And we sat at Brisbane on the tarmac for 3 hours. And then the plane takes off again. So I'm still on the same plane in total, like I said in the thumbnail. On the same flight for, in total, 26 hours. Like 26 and a half hours. Absolutely crazy. So we leave Brisbane after a 3 hour wait on the tarmac. And then we fly to Sydney. And we hop off the plane, and I'm stressing by this point. It's been well over 24 hours. Like, you've got a safety zone. If you go every 24 hours, you're safe under 24 hours pretty much well, that you're not going to poop your pants. Anything over 24 hours, you start stressing. So I'm already starting to stress, and I'm stressing about pooping. I was going to swear, but pooping myself. I was really worried about absolutely, pooping my pants. And then obviously pressure areas, because I'm sitting in the same spot for like 26 hours straight. Lucky I was on a Roho cushion, and I moved around, and I jumped onto another cushion, and I just moved a lot, and I was really uncomfortable, having a lot of spasms, having a lot of back pain. So we finally end up in Sydney, and after 26 and a half hours on the same flight from LA to Sydney, it was just absolutely crazy. And we get to Sydney, and we're worried about catching the next flight. Like, what are we going to do? So we're lining up to catch the next flight. They're going to give us all the information. And the couple in front of us were denied the next flight, which was like 8 o'clock at night. And the next one wasn't until 10:30 at night, or 10 o'clock at night. So the people in front of us were denied the next flight, which was leaving in like 2 hours, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be on the 10:30 flight to go home. I'm like, dude, I'm going to poop myself so bad. Like, not cool. So, and then we get to the counter, and they'd prioritized our seats on the 8 o'clock flight, and I was so stoked. So we're sitting at the Sydney airport, Becky's eating, I'm starving, I'm too scared to eat. I'm like, what goes in must come out. It's like well over like, I don't know, I think it was like 40 hours by this stage, like absolutely ridiculous time that I hadn't been to the toilet. And I'm just stressing. And then we get on the plane, And the whole flight, it's like a 2-hour flight from Sydney, Australia to Adelaide, South Australia, where we live. I was just like praying. I was just like, please don't poop yourself. Please don't poop yourself. Please don't. My guts is rumbling. Everything's going bad. It's just like, I'm stressing. I'm just stressing out. Like, I'm tired. I'm sore. I'm worried about pressure sores, like I said. I'm just stressing right out, like super thirsty, dehydrated. And we made it. We made it to our hometown, Adelaide, South Australia. But then I still had to get a taxi, wait for a taxi. So we jumped in the taxi, came home. And then what I did, right, is as soon as I got home, we got in the door, I got my shower chair, and I put it next to my bed, ready. So I transferred on the bed with some blueies there, just in case something happened. And my wife put the shower chair there, and I got undressed, and I'm laying on my side, and I was just about ready to put my enema in my butt so I could empty my bowels, and I had a massive explosion. My wife was screaming, my wife was screaming. Like, the poop just went everywhere. Like, everywhere. It was embarrassing. Like, it was a full-on explosion. Anyway, I'm very grateful that my wife's very nice and she helped me in. So I still put the enema in as best as I could, jumped on my shower chair, went to the toilet, had a shower, went straight back to bed, and wow, it was crazy. Just being stuck on a plane for 26 hours straight. Like, it's normally like, what, a 16-hour flight? 16 hours on a plane is long enough. Or a little bit longer by the time you get on and get off. But, 26 hours straight. Like, kids were screaming. Like, when we got to, like I said, they diverted to Brisbane and then sat on the tarmac in Brisbane for 3 hours. Kids were screaming. They wouldn't give us food. They wouldn't give us water. People were demanding to be let off. It was absolutely a nightmare. And, if you got a spinal injury, you know what it's like when you're stressed and you're like, you're worried about pressure sores. You're worried, like, are you going to poop yourself? Like, it's extremely stressful. So we booked another holiday, and we fly from Australia to Fiji, which is like 5 hours. We wait in Fiji for 2 hours, and we fly straight to L.A, which is another 10 hours. And then instead of getting to L.A and flying straight to El Salvador, which is another 5 hours, we're going to spend the night in L.A and just relax. So by the time it's, toilet to toilet, Australia to LA is under 24 hours, and hopefully nothing goes wrong, folks. So be prepared that stuff like this can happen. I hope it doesn't, but manage your bowel routine. When you're in the plane, don't eat heaps. Don't pig out. Like, I kind of only nibble on food. I just keep myself not from being starving. You got to be super careful. Like, you don't want to be stuck on a plane if something goes wrong for ages and then, your bowels open or something like that. Like, I saw that story of the poor man that he could walk and he had explosive diarrhea on the plane. I don't know if you saw it, but it was up and down the aisles. It was pretty crazy. So be careful what you eat, folks. Like, even on the plane, I don't really eat meat or anything like that. I just eat vegetarian meals and just be super careful. So, all right, that's my story of being stuck on the same international flight for 26 and a half hours straight. Hope it doesn't happen to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a really good day. Adios.